my wires crossed, but this is called the Shahada. It is the testimony, and it's an Islamic creed. It's the first of Islam's 5 pillars of faith. And I think if you wanted to make a connection, it would be maybe considered equal to what Christians consider the Lord's Prayer.
All right. We already did a Gimme 5 on that. I hope you saw it earlier. That's the despicable analogy that Ashley Banfield decided to make with this prayer that the Muslim terrorist group ISIS asked people to recite to prove that they're Muslims. If they're not, they chop their heads off. And she says, it's kind of like the Lord's Prayer. Dan Gainor, Vice President of Business and Culture for the Media Research Center, joins us. Hello, Dan.
Merry Christmas to you. That's one of those
Merry Christmas.
Gifts.
Oh my gosh. And you know, you put that, I know we're talking about the war on Christmas, but you put that together with what she said to Alan Dershowitz, where she said when the 5 rabbis were slaughtered, and she said, well, you know, because they have mandatory conscription, everyone in Israel is basically a soldier. So she's got real problems. But we're here to talk about the piece, Merry Christmas, 5 takeaways from media coverage of Christians in 2014. And let's go through the list here. Number 1 on the list, Christians shouldn't be seen or heard.
Well, yeah, this is a great example. What we talk all this year, we've seen genocide of Christians in the Middle East. You know, whether it's Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Christians are being tortured, butchered, you know, chased out of the area. And the major media want to talk about Elizabeth Lawton because she wrote something, you know, mildly critical of the Obama daughters. They give it 14 minutes. They don't want to talk about this at all. And they don't want to talk about the war against Christians in our own country, and that's being pushed by the left.
And you know, also number 2 on your list, Christians make the best jokes. And I did a Gimme 5, which is a commentary segment at the end of each hour, on something that was on Saturday Night Live last Saturday, where they mocked the whole Christmas service. You know, they went to a church, blah, blah, made fun of every aspect of it, from the man running the service to the parishioners, you name it. And, you know, it offended me as a Jew.
Well, the Tosh 2.0 segment, Daniel Tosh, this comedian, where they created a beef baby Jesus. This is so offensive, I can barely say it. Comedy Central, which has had a long-standing war against people of faith in general, but particularly Christians, they made a mock Jesus made up of meat, feces, and semen. And they get away with this. If you did this about Islam, that every one of the people involved would be in, you know, you have to change their name and go into police protection. But they do it about Christians,
and they would never
will chop off their heads.
Right, and that's one reason. But they also, they don't care about Islam. They don't care about the discriminatory aspects of parts of the religion done by some of the followers with regards to women or gays. They don't care about that. They just despise Christianity, in my view, particularly Catholicism, and they'll go to any lengths. And you mentioned in the piece, Family Guy, the 2,000-year-old virgin, where they said that, you know, Jesus described his favorite women as hot ladies. And I don't even want to read the rest of it. It's just disgusting. They scrape the bottom of the barrel whenever they can.
Yeah, they go out of their way to offend Christians, out of their way to troll Christians. I mean, even Washington Post, a couple of days before Christmas this year, runs a piece denying historical Jesus. Now, you know, not even a point counterpoint. They just want to offend Christians, and they go out of their way to not offend Muslims because they've set up this David and Goliath thing where Christians and Jews are Goliath. Oh, it's mostly a Judeo-Christian culture. And so even though there are 1.5 billion Muslims around the world, they set them up like they're David.
Absolutely. And we'll skip past the Christianity is synonymous with hate, because that is even portrayed in your piece by Ashley Banfield and others. But they target businesses too, Christian-owned businesses and Christian families. They have no shame.
Well, yeah, whether it's the Duggars or the Duck Dynasty people on TV, the left and the media want to chase them off, all because they believe in traditional values and traditional marriage. And if you do anything that offends the LGBTQIA etc. Mafia, you get they target you, the media particularly, and some of the people who suffer that the most are businesses, photographers, bakers, businesses that run reception halls for weddings. The left thinks that freedom of religion should really be freedom from it. And so they're out to totally subvert the Constitution.
Absolutely. Hey, Dan, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you and all our friends at the Media Research Center. Thank you very, very much. When we come back, President of the Catholic League, my buddy Bill Donahue, he will be here. That means you'll see him. That's right. Don't go away.